concerns and others in the spot.
Welcome back to the bracketology.
Becker's moment for UConn. South Carolina, the defending champion, at plus 275. Go Bruins for more, yes. And Lauren Betts got that #1 overall seed. Bruin pride. Here's Elle Duncan and the crew to take in the rest of the way deep into the women's field.
The full field is officially set for the women's NCAA tournament. Who will be crowned a champion in just a handful of weeks from now? In Champa Bay, also known as Tampa Bay, Elle Duncan alongside Andrea Carter, Carolyn Peck, Rebecca Lobo, and Charlie Cream. We take a look at that bracket. I want you guys to tell me what part of the bracket, what region do you think right now is the toughest path for teams?
Right away, my eyes go to Spokane 4. When you talk about just thinking about the 1 seeds, USC is the #1 seed in that region, but their #2 seed is UConn. We have seen UConn make a Final Four as a 2 seed. We've seen them make a Final Four as a 3 seed, and USC's season was ended by UConn last year, and they also faced UConn this year, and it was a game that went down to the wire. That matchup alone, to me, makes this region, and having those 2 teams in this region makes this region the toughest.
And just think, if you're a 3 or 4 seed in this region, you have to beat both of them in order to get an upset on your way to the Final Four. And I think it's perfectly stated. You know, they played last year.
Yep.
They've played already this year, and especially when you're USC. Juju Watkins is such a unique player. It is easier to game plan for her slightly when a team has already played her. You know, when you are playing Juju
And
Watkins,
once again, Birds Rising Show will be back. We'll be on the Final Four on ESPN2. And then the National Championship
Your reaction, Charlie, and CP
will be.
stands out to you.
I think Texas.
It'll be on
has a pretty tough
ESPN2.
path.
Like, I'll see from
You
around
could
2
argue
p.m.
that
actually, but we'll
to be
see.
a higher seed, and they're the 3. You got TCU, who won a conference regular season championship and a tournament championship, and you've got an Ohio State as a 4 and Tennessee as a 5 winner that play a style that might not be the favorite for Vic Schaefer to have to game plan against, especially since, you know, in the tournament setting, it's win and go, and you don't have a lot of time to get used to the way Tennessee plays. So those are some difficult matchups for Texas. I see the road being difficult.
Well, when I look at Texas, and when teams strategize against them, what do they try to do? Take away the paint. And so if you take away the paint, you force Texas to have to shoot the ball. Well, they have teams that they're going to play against who like to shoot the ball. So if you can't match a 3 for 3, the math's just not mathing, right? So that means Texas has got to spend that extra effort on the defensive end.
But this time it's going to
take
help
away the perimeter shot
inside of the
as well
team
as
pressure.
dominate the paint, and I think that's easy. That's not too easy in this bracket that they're in.
Andrea, I know that you really sort of keyed in on potential rematches at the top of our selection show outside of the one you just mentioned in UConn and USC. Any others that you're sort of looking at that could be interesting?
Yeah, there are definitely some interesting ones. I mean, UCLA and LSU in Spokane 1. That was a matchup that we saw last season when LSU ended UCLA's season. Duke and South Carolina have already played. TCU and Notre Dame have already played. So we've got some rematches and opportunities for revenge for some of these teams.
Texas Notre Dame is another potential one, and that was a really good, tough game that we saw back in December in South Bend.
I know that RL was a really big fan of the idea that if everything goes chalk, we could potentially have 2 teams, both teams have faced each other for the 4th time when we get to the finals. So not a fan. So not a big fan of that. Take it up with the committee. That does it for us. Again, the road to Tampa officially begins this week. You see some of the reactions there from the teams as we get ready today.
Elle, thank you very much. We're at 9.6 million bracket.
Let's get to 20 million.
Let's do it tonight. You know, Elle mentioned some teams could play each other 4 times in the women's bracket. Could be 3 in the men's bracket if the SEC gets as far as people think they will. All the guys are going to unveil their Final Four and pick their national champion right now, and we will start with Coach Greenberg.
Yeah, like Michigan State and Florida, Tennessee and Duke. Michigan State, Tom Izzo, back to the Final Four. Florida's just too talented, too good in the backcourt, the versatility in the front court. Tennessee and Duke, I like Duke winning that game. Cooper Flag will be healthy by then. And then you got Duke and Florida. I just think Florida's depth, versatility, physicality in the backcourt, and skill. I've got Florida cutting down the nets.
I'm going Auburn, St. John's, Duke, and Houston. And the only I love Florida, but I'm giving the edge to Rick Pitino in that Elite Eight game. So I'm going those 4 picks. Then I've got Auburn and Houston in the championship. And because this is Kelvin Sampson's best offensive team, I'm going with the Houston Cougars as a national champion because they're so good defensively, but they're awfully really good offensively.
All right, I kind of switched things up a little bit. I got outside the 1-2 line here. I did go with Michigan State and Florida. I agree with Coach on that. I went with Arizona as the 4 seed. I have them pulling off
The red, white,
upset
blue.
Red, white, and blue. Must
against
can't go
Duke.
wrong.
And then I have them advancing all the way to the to the Final Four to take on Houston. I have Houston and Florida for the national championship, and I have the Florida Gators winning the national championship.
Okay.
All right, I've got Auburn. I think we are all writing their obituary already because they've struggled a little bit. I think Auburn's going to get to the Final Four against Florida. On the other side, Bama. If Grant Nelson is healthy, that's going to be a big if. We'll find out later in the week. I reserve the right to change this, but right now I have Bama going into the Final Four, taking on Houston. Houston and Florida in the final, and because you picked them, because you picked them, because I picked them,
picked
and
Houston.
about 9 million other people. No, I'm an idiot. I still picked Florida. So unfortunately for Todd Golden crew, it doesn't work out like that. If we all pick you, it doesn't happen.
If you sat there and
we
watched
said
them this
UConn
week,
was gonna win last
they
year.
were ridiculous.
Well, last year I guess we were.
Let
Last year was a
them
little different.
know
Are they
that there is
generationally
a
great? We'll find
high
out.
day at
UConn
the
was.
Nordstrom again.
Tremendous job.
Great job. You're a great point guard.
Because it's just, you know,
Can we see how many? Can we stand out here? Where we at?
29.6.
We are
Zubin's an
moving
elite
towards
point guard.
10 million. Let's get to 20 by Thursday.
There you go, Zoom.
Join all
Set
the
those
games.
goals high, Zoom. Set them.